Welcome to the Art of Classiness podcast, a show where we redefine what it means to be a classy lady. And sometimes it's messy. I'm Robin.
And I'm Deborah, two friends turned classy ladies who are here to discuss life's ups and downs, navigating the complexities of adulthood, and how the gift of friendship is essential to belonging.
Today we're diving into one of our favorite corners of the internet, Am I the Asshole? The place where people confess their messiest dilemmas and let strangers decide if they were right or wrong.
From sleeping with your best friend's husband, to wedding guest list drama, to friends who can't respect boundaries, these stories push us to ask what loyalty and respect really look like in friendship.
So follow along, give us your feedback, and don't forget to like and subscribe. What's up, classy ladies and gentlemen? Let's do a check-in, Deborah. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, we're recording this over Labor Day weekend, and we could not have gotten more perfect weather in Ohio this weekend.
Aw.
It's like getting me excited for fall because it's maxed out at around 75 degrees and it's like real crisp, like no humidity in the air, full sun, no clouds. So it's like warm in the sun, but like as soon as you're in the shade, it's a little chilly. So it's just been perfect. Yesterday was kickoff to college football and I ended up hanging out at two of my neighbors' houses who were watching games. Started at one, and then we all went over to another neighbor's house and, you know, just tailgate food and football and sweatshirts. I mean, it's just the Midwest extravaganza.
Aw. Well, and it's like the middle-aged version of bar hopping.
100%. 100%. Just so easy. But I will tell you, not that I ever really, want to leave. I always have a great time with my neighbors. But, I'm a homegirl at heart. And the hard part about when you are doing something with your neighbors that you could also be doing alone is like, you never know the easiest way to be like, well, all right. At one point I was like, well, I don't want to make you guys watch the Michigan game. And they're like, no, we'll put it on. I was like, great. But it really was great to hang out longer and, be with them. It pushes me to like not be so insular.
Yeah.
But, just a great kickoff to the fall season, I feel, this weekend. So I'm feeling very fulfilled.
Oh, and this is your favorite time of year. You've said it before.
It's the best. Yeah, we are in it. It's why anyone should live in the Midwest. We're in the 7 to 8 week perfect period of time,
Love it.
How about you?
Well, same's having a lovely weekend here. There's been a lot of smoke, but in Bend itself, it's been on and off kind of bad, but a lot of times it's not so bad that you can't be outside. And so it's been the best of both worlds of like, usually Bend is really busy during Labor Day weekend because everybody's traveling to town. So It's actually been really like slow feeling.
Yeah.
So that's nice. We went to a lake called Three Creeks Lake yesterday. The water is so beautiful and clear and calm, and there's no boats on that lake either. So
Oh, nice.
It's not deep enough, I think. Penny had a ball.
Has she gone swimming? Is she a swimming dog?
She's not a swimming dog, but we are trying to expose her to the water. She was afraid of it. But yesterday she was going in by herself, like not very deep. But I was throwing this stick in the water and it would sink, but you could see straight down. And so she would go up to it and then like drag it with her paw to shore to where she could pick it up because she didn't want to stick her face in the water. It was really cute. It was really stinking cute. She also discovered baby frogs, and that was traumatic for a little girl.
She's a big girl, though. So
No, there was a little girl that was screaming because Penny was trying to eat the frogs.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, how she was reacting to them.
Yeah, she was screaming, and then she ran to her mom, and I was like, Penny, leave the baby frogs alone.
Oh.
They're too cute.
She's just an animal at heart,
Yeah. And yeah, we went to brunch with some friends today. It's just been a really lovely weekend.
Great. I love that.
Yeah. Speaking of lovely weekends, we have some Am I the Asshole stories that would make for pretty terrible weekends, I think.
Yes.
These stories are pretty messy. There's betrayal between lifelong friends, fallout from being uninvited to weddings, and drawing boundaries with men who don't want relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting stuff that we're getting into today.
Yeah, I'm excited. We got a nice spicy little batch here. Some of them are very clear who the asshole is, and others I'm interested to see what the debate will be between the two of us. So let's just dive right in.
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Off with a bang. Am I the asshole for sleeping with my best friend's husband?
I'm not going to lie.
It's a yes. It's a yes, but we're gonna read the story anyway.
The title says a lot.
Title says it all, but you know what? Let's hear what she has to say.
Okay.
I, 27 female, slept with my best friend's 27 female husband, 30 male, after a night out. Me and my best friend have known each other since we were children, and her husband are high school sweethearts. This night had been planned weeks in advance, and it was to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. We have kept the same group of friends, so it isn't out of the ordinary to all go out to the club. So I thought this was going to be a regular night out. A few days before the night out, my friend's husband started texting me. At first, it was innocent. How are you? And are you excited to go out? And then he started bringing up the time that we were dating before him and my friend had even met. I was the one that introduced them as we ended on civil terms and agreed to stay friends. I laughed it off and agreed that those times were good but should be kept in the past. To be honest, I have always found him attractive, even after they got married, and he knew that I did. Then he texted me to explain he couldn't wait to see what I was going to wear. This is when I couldn't help but give in to him, as I still have a huge soft spot for him. And for some reason, I didn't feel guilty. I replied with a winky face and said goodnight, and we didn't speak until we met at the club with our other friends. At the club, it was really good. Drinks were flowing, and I started to get drunk. Seeing my best friend and her husband being flirty with each other made me very jealous, and I questioned why I introduced them in the first place. But I swallowed this feeling down with more and more drinks. By the end of the night, it wasn't safe for me to get home by myself, so my best friend's husband insisted on driving me home. Drinking isn't his thing, so he was sober. When we got to my apartment building, he said he would walk me to my door, as he knew this is what my best friend would have wanted. When he was walking me up to my apartment, he held my waist, and I couldn't help but lean into him. When we got there, he asked if he could wait inside until I sobered up before bed. So I let him in, we ate some food, and talked for a while. I hate to admit, but it was very intimate. Eventually, I sobered up a bit, and that was when he was about to leave. We stood in the doorway, and he leaned in to kiss me. I knew it was wrong, but I couldn't push him away because of all the feelings I had pushed down for so many years. I pulled him back inside my apartment and went to the bedroom. Since then, we have met up twice and have been secretly texting. The other day, my friend came over saying her husband was acting suspicious and had changed the password on his phone. I knew I was the cause of this, but told her not to worry about it, as privacy is allowed even when you're married. I'm feeling so guilty and want to tell her, but I have wanted this for so long. And he is telling me not to, as some people are better off not knowing. I really don't know what to do. This was just a terrible accident, but has led to something much worse. What do I do, Reddit?
This was not an accident. You straight up said you gave in.
Gave in. Yes. Now, obviously, she's the asshole. He's the asshole. The only person that's not the asshole is the poor wife that is about to lose her entire world.
It's so fucked. This is so fucked. Yes, you're the asshole, but let's dive in. Okay, first of all, they were all out at the club. He insisted on giving her a ride home. Who gave the wife a ride home?
Right.
Where is she?
Where is the wife? She would have wanted it this way. Did she die?
Yeah.
Did she die at the club? What do you mean she wasn't with you? Why didn't she?
How did
is
she
Uber
get
not
home?
a thing?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Just a simple Uber, text me when you get inside so we know you're safe. That's all that's required here.
Yeah, we're all adults. You're almost 30.
Yeah, you're 27 years old.
And, like, they've been friends since high school?
Childhood. The married couple were high school sweethearts.
Okay.
So this is the other layer. It's like, oh, I dated him first in high school. You dated him in high school, okay? I dated someone for a week in high school. It literally means nothing. Like this whole like, why did I do it? Like, sweetie, what are you even talking about?
I mean, this is the ultimate friendship betrayal.
Ultimate friendship betrayal.
And it's like, who holds more responsibility here? It's just so many levels of fucked up on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
How would you, like, who would you feel more wronged by? I'm just curious.
I would feel more wronged by the friend, quite frankly, because I would look back at that time where I confided in my friend to be like, something's going on with him. And she is the thing going on with him.
Ugh, yeah.
And the fact that they're in cahoots about it and like are secretly moving along. Now, I will say, if I'm going to say asshole to asshole, the husband is the bigger asshole because he, apples to apples, asshole to asshole, he is the bigger asshole. And it is because he kicked this whole thing off, right?
Yep.
He laid the table and she didn't even resist for a second to sit down and eat at that table. But
no,
he had no business texting her one off anyway. Like, we have very clear rules about friends. And like, you do not have a textual relationship with your friend's husband or your friend's wife. Like, that is off limits.
Not a conversational one. Like, if you're texting them separately, it's for logistics.
It's objective driven.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, well, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
If Seth was ever like, hey, how's it going?
Do you want to get together and chat? Just you and me? Like,
no, you shut it down. And even the question of like, I can't wait to see what you're going to wear.
It's disgusting.
I would say, I feel uncomfortable with you saying that. What do you mean you can't wait? What are you talking about?
And they've been married for a year. They're celebrating their 1-year anniversary. And this is where you and the husband decide to explore things. Like, why didn't you at least do this before they fucking got married?
I mean, it's so gross. And if I'm the wife and you aren't even getting a ride home from your husband on your 1-year anniversary, like, but you know what? That is a good point. Like, the married couple have been high school sweethearts, but they only married a year ago. So that's a long dating period of time where, like, I mean, we don't know if they took breaks here and there, or like if they saw other people, but it seems like he probably has regrets about getting married and being so young and never maybe exploring. But I think something must have led up to him randomly texting the friend. Like, there must have been in-person flirtatious behavior, you know.
I mean, she said that he knew that she was still attracted to him, which means they've probably had these inappropriate conversations before.
Yes, this does not just happen one crazy night because you were drinking. A million things lead up to an affair of this magnitude, and this seed has clearly been planted, maybe even by her, for a long time.
Yeah. Actually, I want to know, can you read some of the top comments?
Yeah, absolutely, with pleasure. Okay. You are the asshole for being the epitome of a terrible friend and even worse person. You slept with your best friend's husband, betraying years of friendship over some drunken nostalgia and jealousy. You're not just the other woman. You're a snake in the grass. The right thing to do? Come clean, apologize, accept the consequences. Stop justifying your action that it was an accident when you've been actively engaging in this affair. Your friend deserves to know the truth from you, not find out through deceit or suspicion.
She's gonna find out.
She's going to find out. If you have any shred of decency left, end this now and prepare for the fallout because you've earned it. Yeah, like the thing is, sometimes you really have to face the music. You really have to say, I fucked up. There are going to be consequences. I am going to lose things that I will never recover. And that is the atonement of when you betray somebody like that. There is no silver lining. There is no, oh, well, at least this. Like, you have thrown a grenade into your life, and now you have to experience the shrapnel that's going to come your way.
Congratulations, you're a piece of shit.
Well, we try not to internalize shame, but I do think like you need to absolutely experience all of the fallout that will happen and do some serious work on yourself as to why you need male validation like that, even if it's at the cost of your closest friend.
Well, and she said she didn't feel bad about it. This is why I'm calling her a piece of shit. Because she did it and she doesn't feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
And she's considering listening to the husband and not telling her friend. Like, she's being a really terrible friend. She's being very selfish.
Yes, she absolutely is. This is 𝗧𝗵𝐵𝐀.
Oh, yeah.
This is 𝗧𝗵𝐵𝐻 all over again, you know? And I will say I did have sympathy for Raquel/Rachel because I could understand, in a sense, the total spell and sense of limerence that she was under during that time. And I think that she hopefully has done the work to realize, like, yeah, I don't get access to that life anymore. I have to completely change my life and reprioritize and do the work on my mental health. So I'm never in that position again. I do believe in redemption for everyone, but in order to get redemption, you have to absolutely walk through the consequences of your actions.
She does sound baths now.
I know, and they're actually really pleasant.
Yeah. You know, I wish her the best. I hope that she is truly growing. I can't help but think some of it's fake just because of what we saw.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I mean, there's always the element of like, you're not going to be trusted to your full extent again, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yes, resoundly, you are the asshole.
1000%. Declared.
Declared.
All right. Moving on. Am I the asshole for not wanting to stay friends with a guy who doesn't want a relationship? The audacity. The audacity.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
I, 28 female, met a guy, 29 male, at a wedding about 6 weeks ago. We text every day. Most of the time, he texts first. We talk pretty consistently. We hang out maybe once a week. Usually this consists of grabbing some drinks and occasionally food, and then heading back to his place or mine. We don't always hook up, but most of the time we do. Anyway, I'm at the point in my life where I'm ready for a relationship, so the other day, I asked if he sees this leading in that direction. He kind of danced around the question. At the end of the conversation, he said he's not ready for anything serious as he just broke off an engagement 8 months ago after dating his ex for 5 years. I thanked him for his honesty and very calmly and respectfully told him that since we are on 2 different pages, we should probably go our separate ways so I can move on and find someone who is looking for something long-term. No hard feelings. He didn't seem to understand why we can't stay friends. He's been texting me ever since and insisting that we keep in touch. He even said, "This isn't even about sex. We don't have to hook up. I just don't get why you have to cut me off. We can be friends." I told him that I'm really not interested in having him as a friend as I've already developed feelings for him. So going from a possible romantic partner to friends isn't something I'm comfortable with. He kept making excuses for why he's not ready and accusing me of rushing him and giving him an ultimatum. But I feel like he's making it about himself and taking it personal. It's not personal. I just want to move on without getting hurt. I also think he just wants to keep me around for an ego boost, but he swears that's not it at all. Anyway, I blocked him this morning. It wasn't an easy decision as I obviously like him, but it's for the best. I don't feel like I'm losing a friend because we were never friends before, but he made me feel like I'm selfish for this. Am I the asshole for cutting him off? I'm just trying to look out for myself.
Okay, that is, I feel like a very common circumstance where people, you know, start off fast and furious. It sounds like she didn't say explicitly that they hooked up at the wedding, so I don't know that it was like maybe they met and hooked up, but they have.
Yeah, they hooked up sometimes.
Yeah, so at some point, you know, they took it to that level. And that would imply that you are maybe moving towards like an actual relationship. It is really hard to unring a bell. You can't just say, oh, let's just forget that happened. Let's just go back to how it was before. Well, before you were a stranger.
Yeah, 6 weeks ago, I didn't know you.
I didn't know you at all. So going back to how it was is actually you not being in my life at all. Sounds like she's giving him exactly what he asked for.
Yeah, they didn't establish a friendship foundation. So, like, there is no let's just be friends. And the way she explained it, he's not giving a good argument as to why they should remain in contact.
Right.
He's like, I just don't understand. I don't understand. Like, you're not saying anything about, like, I think we have something really great here. I know I'm moving slow, but, like, trust me, I can get there, like, even if we keep it as friends for now. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it is about his ego.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing him express any feelings towards her.
And the whole, we don't even have to hook up thing. Please. Please. How many times have you been like, don't just come over. Let's just watch a movie. It's never just about the movie. Okay. He wants that as an option. He's hoping that you'll hang out, but that maybe 30% of the time when both of you are lonely on a weekend night, that you are still on the roster. That's what he really wants.
And it's just not fair. Like, she admitted to catching feelings. And she is trying to protect her peace. Like, she knows I can't just be friends with you because I have developed feelings. So it's not good for me emotionally to maintain contact with you. I think that's really mature and self-aware.
And him not accepting that already shows he's a bad friend.
Yeah.
She's telling him what she needs as a friend, and he's like, nuh-uh. So it's like, why would you? This is someone who obviously doesn't have respect for your boundaries. And for him to not even entertain the idea of like, hey, I totally understand that. Let's give each other some space. Like, do you mind if maybe in like a few months I reach out just to see how you're doing? Like, if that's what it takes.
Yeah. And that sounds really thoughtful and sweet. Like, he cares about her feelings and her well-being.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like, consider this a test, and he failed.
Yeah, he did.
Like, immediately you're out of the running for a potential partner because of how you reacted to my clear boundary setting.
Yeah. And can we get away from this whole narrative of like, oh, but now that he's let you go, he sees what you really are. And like, maybe now he has feelings. Nope.
Fuck that.
Nope. We don't date for potential anymore. If you didn't see it when you had it, then you really missed the boat.
You shit the bed.
You shit the bed. And so sorry, buddy. Try again next time.
Yeah. Hopefully you learned something here. I'm sure you didn't.
Sure you didn't. They rarely do.
Because she had to block him. She had to block him. So, no, honey, you are not the asshole.
Mm-mm, honey.
Not even close. In fact, we're very proud of you.
Good job, girlie.
Yeah. He's the a-hole. And I'm glad you blocked him.
And you're an angel.
Declared.
Declared.
Angel.
Am I the asshole for cutting off a best friend? She didn't invite me to her wedding because her mom doesn't like me. My 31 female friend Ray, 31 female, and I have been friends since middle school. We were always there for each other through every up and down. Still to this day, I believe she is the reason I survived high school. Both of us were raised in extremely strict households, and we've helped each other survive our overbearing, narcissistic mothers. As to why her mom doesn't like me, I could probably guess a few reasons. Whenever she would get in trouble, I usually would be right beside her. It was never anything crazy, just your typical teenage shenanigans, but honestly, we were mild. We weren't the partying type. We would sneak out of the house to get soda from the gas station, things like that. But even the mild things like that would get her grounded for weeks. Because of this, her mother has always associated me with trouble. Her mother is also extremely Catholic, the type of Catholic that thinks every other denomination of Christianity are evil. Since I am not a practicing Catholic, she thinks that I'm a terrible influence on Ray. To top it all off, I'm queer. But I don't actually know if her mother knows this since I've never really announced it. I've come out to Ray, so maybe it was mentioned to her mom, IDK. The last reason her mom dislikes me is because I've always encouraged Ray to stand up to her mother. Narcissists really don't like that. After high school, we moved apart. I went to college and her parents forced her to join the military. Even though we moved away from each other, I'd considered her a lifelong best friend. Adulthood happens, though, and over the following decade, we slowly lost touch with the day-to-day in each other's lives. I still loved her fiercely, even though we didn't catch up as much. I thought she had felt the same. When Ray got engaged, I was over the moon happy for her. He seems like a genuinely kind man and treats her with all the love she deserves. I couldn't wait for her wedding. We always talked about being bridesmaids for each other. Now the part where I find out I'm not invited. I only come home once or twice a year because flying is very expensive, but when I do, I usually reach out to Ray to get lunch so we can catch up. At lunch, I asked her how wedding planning was coming along and hadn't gotten a save the date yet and wanted to know if it had been set. Well, it had been set. It was in 6 months, and I wasn't invited. She goes on to explain that her mother has basically hijacked the wedding planning, and Ray hasn't gotten much of a say in anything. Because her mom has always been so controlling over the wedding, Ray said, I have to pick my battles with her, which of course I interpreted as I wasn't a battle worth having. Nearly 20 years of friendship and she couldn't stand up for me, defend me, or tell her mom that I am not some evil troublemaking heathen. It honestly broke my heart. She even said that the location and the church she was getting married in wasn't what her mom wanted either, but she chose to fight that battle. The church she had gotten married in was more important to her than the guest list. She was very sorry, but that her hands were tied because her parents were paying for the wedding. I really do sympathize with the situation she was put in from the looks of it. She doesn't get to pick her dress or the colors. I know what it is like to have a controlling mother, but also she's an adult and she hasn't learned to stand up for herself or others to her mom. It hurts me to see Ray constantly chasing after the approval of her mother when the bar for approval has always been never-ending goalpost. At lunch, when she told me this, I played it off like I understood, but I cried the whole way home and then some. I thought over and over how I felt for a few days and decided to text her that I wanted to distance myself from her. I told her it broke my heart that she wouldn't invite me, and I felt unloved and undervalued as a friend. I told her I loved her, I always will, but this is goodbye. I didn't hear back from her until 6 months later, the Monday after her wedding. She sent a long apology. It was nice to hear, and it seemed genuine, but I was still so hurt. It's been 2 years since all of this happened, and she sent out a few olive branches since, but I go back and forth on whether I want her back in my life. Part of me wants to tell her I can forgive her when she stands up to her mom for me, and only then can I be in her life again. Am I the asshole?
That was long. That was so long.
Mm-hmm.
Her friend didn't reply to her ending their friendship until 6 months later after the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
That is shitty. That is so shitty.
Yeah.
I think her friend's kind of a coward.
Her friend is definitely a coward and a child, right? Like, these are all kind of childish things. I mean, they're 31? Now, it's been 2 years, so she got married at 29. At 29, you should be able to have autonomy over your wedding. And if you have parents that are holding over a check over your head, being like, we're paying for it, we get to do everything,
I'd be like, cool, then I'm not having a wedding.
then I'm not having it. I understand that family relationships are hard and it can be very uncomfortable for people to set boundaries with family, even boundaries as far as going no contact. I get it. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. But I feel like her friend is using the mom thing as an excuse.
I have dealt with plenty of narcissists in my life, having an overbearing, narcissistic, religious mother. Like, I can't imagine what that must be like for this friend.
Right.
But as an adult who has lived 30 years of life, it's kind of a cop-out to keep blaming your mom for your actions.
Right.
Like, you've lived enough to know what is right and what is wrong, and you're allowing things to be a certain way because you don't want to deal with your mom's reaction, the fallout, the arguments, whatever it is. But she was willing to argue with her about getting the church that she wanted.
Yeah. You would think if the mom is as religious as she says she is, that the church would be the non-negotiable for the mom.
Right?
Not the guest list. That's why I'm like, something's not adding up here. I think that your mom wasn't comfortable with it and that maybe you didn't want to push her buttons about that. And so you just sort of threw your friend under the bus.
Yeah. Where's the line between sympathy for circumstances versus self-respect?
With weddings, it's so blurry because there's so much expectation from everybody. I mean, you got married over a year ago. I mean, I'm sure you felt that more recently than I did about people want you to do it a certain way at a certain place, having people there, kids, no kids, like all of those things.
It's true. My mom wanted there to be a prayer. And I was like, no. She did not like that response and I didn't care.
Right.
I wouldn't even let it be an argument. I just said, no, we're not having a religious wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's weird. Okay. But I also paid for my wedding.
Right.
So,
yes, there are a lot of compromises that you make during the wedding planning process, but people should rarely be one of them.
I was about to say there's no way I would have let someone else dictate who was on my invite list.
Right.
That is the number one non-negotiable. You're not going to tell me who can and can't be at my wedding.
Right. Here's my theory. And the poster even alluded to this. Over time, they weren't involved in their day-to-day lives. And they, probably only saw each other once or twice a year. Her friend probably looked at the guest list and was like, we don't really talk to this person anymore. Let's just not invite them. I doubt it's going to come up. I don't even really talk to her anymore. And then they have this lunch and the friend has to face the music but can't do it. So what does? She throws her mom under the bus because that's the easiest route to take. And probably felt a lot of regret about that over the weekend of her wedding because the first time she reached out to the poster was that Monday right after. So she probably realized, oh man, it actually would have been really great to have my childhood best friend up here. The question is, though, is the poster the asshole for saying goodbye, basically cutting off the friend because she didn't get invited to the wedding?
I mean, hey, if you are personally offended by this kind of treatment from someone who you've considered a dear friend, I think it's completely within your rights to cut off that relationship because she's clearly not a priority.
Right.
She's not being invited to the wedding. Like, she waits 6 months to reply. I think things would have panned out a lot differently if she had replied to that message when OP sent it.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to talk through it, tried to find some sort of middle ground or a new level of understanding for the situation, but she didn't.
Right.
And that's why, I don't think OP is the asshole here.
No.
I think it became super apparent where she stood with this friend, and you don't want someone like that in your life. So I don't think she's the asshole. I think she did what she could to salvage their friendship. And again, the friend shit the bed. 6 months? She waited 6 months?
It feels like the friend is a kind of a coward and didn't know how to just say, hey, it's a small wedding. We're really just going to have our closest friends and family, and you and I haven't really been as close with each other anymore, and just said it how it was. We don't know that that's the case, but I kind of sense that that's the case.
Yeah. That sucks too, though. You perceiving the friendship one way and someone else perceiving it completely differently. That sucks.
Yeah. When moments to me, if I think we're friends and you don't invite me to your wedding, we are not friends, we're friendly.
Yeah.
That's a lesson I have actually had to learn a few times. I've had a few friends that I thought were friends, and then the wedding came around and didn't get an invite, and all of our other perceived friends were going. It's like, oh, okay, we're friendly. We were not actually friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes that's how you learn.
Sometimes.
Well, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. Declared.
All
right. Last story. This one is significantly shorter. Am I the asshole for thinking my girlfriend's friends crossed a line? I'm in my mid-20s, doing well for myself, 6 figures, a good job, and a bit of inheritance, and a huge win I had from stake NBA parlays that's let me live comfortably. I don't know what NBA parlays is. Is that some kind of betting?
Betting on sport things to happen, something like that.
I've been dating my girlfriend for about 4 months, and things are going great. I've taken her on a month-long Europe vacation. Wow. Leased a car when I'm in her city, and cover bills when we're together because I can and want to. Well, her friends don't seem to like it. Recently, after a hangout, she told me in confidence that her friends went on a deep dive into my life, grilling her on how I could afford this lifestyle. They looked up my LinkedIn, tried figuring out my money, and even called one of my clients, a bank, to check if my company was legit. They basically accused her of being with someone who's either shady or lying about his job. My girlfriend had my back and defended me, and we think they could be jealous, but I feel massively disrespected. I get wanting to look out for a friend, but this feels like a huge boundary cross. Am I the asshole for thinking her friends went way over the line and feeling like this kind of invasion needs to be shut down?
Damn.
Okay, they're very clearly jealous. Took her on a month-long trip to Europe within 4 months of dating?
Yeah, I mean, I would be jealous too. Like, here's the thing. There is concern that you might have, right? Because love bombing is very much a thing.
Yeah.
And I would say I have had a best friend that the beginning of her relationship we didn't know what love bombing was at the time, but looking back, it was total love bomb fest of just like buy or whatever she wanted. And I want to take you here. I'm going to take you there. Like so many promises, right? And I remember at that time being like, okay, well, let's just be cautious. Let's just be careful. And you do want what's best for your friends. And when someone does come on that strong, there's a fine line between so romantic and like, okay, what's really going on here? So the concern I understand, but the execution of this plan is just so out of control.
It's absolutely the execution. Like, snooping, sure. Calling one of his clients to validate the legitimacy of his business, like now you're affecting his career. You're affecting his livelihood. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
There's a line between like just looking out for a friend and total invasion of privacy. And they went into the invasion of privacy portion of this. And I don't know, especially the fact that the girlfriend defended him. It sounds like they definitely took it too far.
Yeah. And thank God that the girlfriend knows that they took it too far and, confronted the situation by telling this guy, like, hey, just so you know, this is what my friends thought. I just think the friends missed a crucial step in all this, which is getting to know him for themselves.
I was just about to say that.
Like what? You can't have like a dinner where you're casually like, so tell me about some of your clients. Like what do you do? Help me understand.
There are other steps to investigating the legitimacy of your friend's partner.
Yes.
Like you skipped a few.
So many steps. And it sounds like they came up with no real evidence, right? So there's not a reason for them to still have a problem with him. So you're right. Like the root cause is jealousy, 1,000%.
Yeah. And you know what? Good on the girlfriend for standing up for him because she's the one that's been spending all this time with him.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. If you're the girlfriend, what do? You know that your friends don't trust your boyfriend. You have now told your boyfriend that your friends don't trust him. How do you move forward if you're her?
Ooh. Well, they already know where she stands, right? Like she stood up for him. I'm wondering how they reacted to that, whether or not they respect her opinion on the matter. That's going to affect how things move forward because if they respect her decision to continue dating him, then maybe there's space for them to reconcile this. He can meet them. They can get to know him. He can get to know them. Like this could still work out, like be a joke down the line. Hey, remember that one time you thought I was love bombing so-and-so? But if they still aren't on the same page, if they don't believe her, if they don't agree with her, then that's a problem. And she's probably going to have to take some space from them to determine whether or not this is someone she wants to be with long term because they're not going to be supportive. And like whether or not they're right in this situation, it doesn't matter because they approached it all wrong. And I feel like this applies to our episode where we talk about introducing someone new to the friend group and the consequences of doing it wrong.
Right. Yeah, she's definitely, the friends have the burden of making this right.
Absolutely. Like they need to make this up to him. They owe him an apology.
A huge apology, and you better hope you get back in his good graces because he's got European money, honey. You're telling me you don't want a little extra seat? You don't want to ride on that plane, okay? You don't want to be invited to what I'm assuming is a nice place? Like, come on. You can ride the coattails here in this situation. They totally fumbled that bag. Think about the parties he's going to throw her. Think about the wedding he will have, right? Like, come on. You're thinking short term here, guys. If he's a good guy, just enjoy the fruits of that labor.
Yeah. I mean, you're enjoying the fruits of my labor.
I am enjoying the podcast poppy life.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here to say it's sweet. It's a sweet life.
So anyone that's on board, like, I'll bring them with.
Yeah, get in there. Get in there, you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's the asshole at all.
No.
I mean, he has every right to be very distrusting of them, and hopefully they can pull their head out of their ass and just be happy that something good is happening to their friend for once.
Yeah. It sounds like he's being just very thoughtful, respectful, and treating her the way she deserves to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to tell through a written out story on Reddit whether or not this guy is love bombing, whether or not he is like some sort of narcissistic sleuth and he's baiting her. I don't know.
We don't know. We just got to take him at his word.
Exactly.
You know?
But at the end of the day, regardless of his intentions, the friends did it wrong.
Yeah, most definitely.
They were not tactful. There was no tact. And you got to have tact in these kinds of situations. It's very volatile. You're messing with a lot of feelings and emotions. Like, she is emotionally attached to this guy. You can't just walk up to her and say all these shitty things about him. It's not going to end well for you.
Right. Exactly. So, not the asshole.
Not the asshole.
Declared.
Okay. Moving on to our class act of the week. Let's balance things out with a little lightness here. This is where we give a quick spotlight on people, places, or small moments that remind us kindness and class still exists. And today we have a story from our very own podcast poppy, Seth, my husband. He was traveling for work in San Francisco and had this really beautiful experience.
Well, let me read Seth's class act of the week. A couple weeks ago, I was on a trip in San Francisco. Normally, when I travel, I'll splurge on a fancy steakhouse dinner, but this time I decided to wander off the beaten path. That's how I ended up in this old neighborhood bar in South San Francisco. Now, this wasn't just any bar. It'd been around since the mid-'60s, the kind of place that looks like time forgot it, with wood-paneled walls, a jukebox in the corner, and regulars who have been sitting in the same seats for decades. The kind of place where everyone knows everyone, and if you're an outsider, you'll feel it right away. I ordered their prime rib special, and let me tell you, it wasn't just dinner. It was a production. For $45, they served up steaming bowl of minestrone, a crisp salad with the house dressing they've been making ever since the 60s, a massive 15-ounce cut of prime rib, 2 sides, and a dessert. In the Bay Area, that's practically a miracle. Give us the name of this place, Seth.
He did. It's called the Garden Club.
The Garden Club. Okay, check it out if you're in San Francisco. So there I am, happily digging into this mountain of food, when 3 women walk in, probably in their 60s or early 70s, and clearly beloved regulars. The bartenders lit up the second they saw them, calling out their names, giving hugs over the bar, like these ladies weren't just customers, but family. Turns out they had just come from bingo night at the club. One of them slapped down 2 crisp $20 bills from her winnings and announced, "Drinks are on me." The others cheered, laughed, and immediately started swapping bingo stories. Who got mad when someone else yelled first, who always seems to lose, and why they keep going back anyway. As the drinks flowed and their conversation shifted, talking about friends who'd passed on, sharing updates about their health, swapping supplement advice, even brainstorming their next get-together, they decided to call it a brooch and booze, a night of crafting brooches, sipping mimosas, and laughing about life. I couldn't stop smiling just listening to them. Before I left, I had to say something. I told them how beautiful it was to see them still making time for each other, still getting out, still choosing, still choosing joy and connection. I told them not everyone has that in their later years, and that their friendship was something special. That's so sweet. They got quiet for a moment and then thanked me, and one of them said, "We don't always realize how lucky we are until someone points it out." And that's really the heart of it. These women were living proof that their friendship, why am I getting so emotional? And that's really at the heart of it. These women are living proof that friendship doesn't fade with age, it deepens.
You got this.
I got this. Okay. They weren't sitting at home isolated or lonely. They were out in their community, laughing, toasting, planning adventures, and proving that female friendships can carry you through every season of life. What the fuck, Seth? That's my class act of the week. A reminder that showing up for your friends, even decades later, is what keeps life full, joyful, and worth celebrating.
Oh,
well done.
I did not even read this before the episode.
Me neither, clearly.
That was really, really good. And the reason he told me this story, because he's like, it just reminds me about you and your friends and your podcast. And that made me feel really happy.
Yeah. Ugh.
He saw that's like us in the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's why I was getting emotional.
Yeah.
Just thinking about us when we're older and just being lifelong friends. I mean,
yeah,
there's no greater luck than to have that, you know.
Brooches and mimosas. Like,
Brooches
get
and
out of
mimosas.
here.
So cute.
Thank you, Podcast Poppy.
Thank you.
Moving on to our favorite segment, Class or Crass. This is a segment where we throw a scenario on the table, debate it out, and decide if it's classy behavior or just straight up crass. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I call this Sunday morning intrusion. It's 8:30 a.m. on a Sunday. Your friend shows up with coffee and bagels unannounced. Sweet gesture or crossing sacred weekend boundaries?
This to me is like a time and place game day call on whether or not it is intrusion or what a nice little surprise. And you're really rolling the dice if you do something like that because you don't know where your friend is going to be in that moment.
Especially if said friend has kids.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Every day is a mixed bag. You don't know what you're going to get. You don't know what time they were up, if they got any sleep at all.
Right.
And maybe they'll be grateful that you brought some food.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody's different. And that's the thing, like whether or not, how well do you know the person? Do you already have this long-standing tradition? Probably not.
Probably not.
I had this with one friend, and it's because she lived next door to me in an apartment complex.
Mm.
And we would like take turns making coffee for each other, making breakfast. Like it was a thing that we did before work.
Yeah.
Outside of that, like I would never. Like me living in Bend now, like the only friend I have here that I could even imagine doing that with is Jackie. And there's no way I would bombard her like that.
Yeah, show up unannounced.
I would always text like, hey, how you feeling this morning? You want a bagel and some coffee? I'm happy to drop by.
Right. Just do a little double check, you know? And
yeah.
Now, I will say, being more optimistic, this could really be a nice surprise that really elevates your day, right? You could be like, wow, that was so, looking back, like that was so nice. I haven't caught up forever. And, you know, we just chit-chatted, had a nice, easy morning. So if you are in this position and your initial response is to feel annoyed, or even maybe if your initial response is to be annoyed or that this is an invasion of your privacy almost, I would take a moment to just like regroup, recenter, and see if there's a possibility that this could actually be a good time. You know?
Sure.
The hard thing is like Sundays are usually a very like, for a lot of people, it is their I need to get everything ready for the week day.
Yeah.
And so a little 2-hour delay in the morning could really throw things off for you that could end up stressing you out even more so throughout the week.
Yeah. I don't love being surprised like that. I love surprises, but I would really appreciate a text. Just check in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it could still be last minute, like, hey, I'm grabbing myself some breakfast. It's on me if you're cool with me stopping by. And then I have the ability to accept or reject that invitation.
Right.
That's all I need. It could still be last minute. You could be 2 minutes away.
Yeah.
But just give me the opportunity to say, actually, you know what? I'm really not filling up for visitors right now, or I'm still in bed. This is one of those really, like, it's a very kind, thoughtful gesture. It's about the execution and the other person involved.
Right.
Are they known for enjoying drop-in visits? Because we have some friends who it's well known. Like, no, they don't want you just stopping by ever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But you have to know that about your friend. I think it's a little presumptuous, but also like just you should have that kind of awareness with your friends, I'd say.
Right. So this is a dicey role.
Yeah. I think it's classy to want to bring your friend coffee and bagels in the morning. And I think it's classy if you give them a little heads up first. It's not completely crass, but it could be if you know how that friend would react. And it's not a good way.
It is crass roulette. That's what it is.
Yeah. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
What's our final answer here?
My final ruling is totally unannounced on a Sunday morning. Crass. You can make it classy by even just giving a 5-minute heads up.
Yeah. Pretty simple.
There you go. Well, that's all she wrote. Whether it's drawing hard boundaries, letting go of old friendships, or realizing when someone's crossed the line, these stories remind us that friendship isn't always simple.
But even in the messy moments, there's always something to learn about loyalty, self-respect, and honesty.
We hope today's stories gave you something to laugh about, maybe even something to argue about with your friends.
Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Art of Classiness or email us at artofclassiness@gmail.com to share your Am I the Asshole worthy stories.
Thanks for listening, and remember, classy is a state of mind.
So mind your classiness. Bye.